To order at 7 o'clock. May we have the roll, please?
Ray Daney.
Here.
Mark Hopkins. Steve Kane.
Here.
Tom Kunz.
Here.
Jim Lamberg.
Here.
John Miasso. Tim Ridenauer.
Here. Okay.
Diane Nagel. Here. Shane Cook.
Here.
Austin Hopkins.
Here.
Laura Walls.
The first item on our agenda is the approval of the February 13, 2014 minutes. Do we have such motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? May we have the roll, please?
Shane Cook.
Yes.
Austin Hopkins.
Yes.
Tom Kunz.
Yes.
Jim Lamberg.
Yes.
Diane Nagel. Yes. Tim Ridenauer.
I have to abstain.
Steve Kane.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
Roberta?
That door was locked. It's not my...
The next petitioner here for the -02. It's the Seasons Produce Outdoor Market number 2. It's a special use permit for outdoor sales. This is a public hearing. With that, we'll open the public hearing. Has all the necessary documentation been received?
Yes.
It's all in order?
Yes.
Petitioner present?
That was to me.
Yes.
Well, we're going to ask you to stand, please. Jim's going to swear you in.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
One for this, I can walk.
Roberta, if you'd be so kind.
Okay. The petitioner is requesting a special use permit for outdoor sales to operate a produce market in the parking lot of the Bartlett Plaza, which is more commonly referred to as Gorski's Retail Center, located on the north side of Devon Avenue and just east of the CVS here in downtown. The petitioner currently operates the successful produce market in the Bartlett Commons Shopping Center over at 59 and Stearns, and this would actually be their second outdoor market. The staff was directed to seek some alternatives to the village-sponsored downtown farmers market, and we contacted the petitioner for their thoughts regarding the expansion of their business at a second location. And after reviewing some sites and meeting with the property owners of Bartlett Plaza, it seemed like a good fit to add a second produce market at this location. So the petitioner would be the only vendor here. However, if they choose, they could contact the vendors from the village's farmers market for them to also relocate to the Bartlett Plaza location to complement this produce market. It would be identical to the market on Stearns Road and would consist of whole produce with small amounts of flours, oils, specialty items, and breads. And again, as at Bartlett Commons, there would be one truck, and I can show you where that's located. So here would be the proposed tent area. Here would be the one truck parking. If they choose to have vendors from the former farmers market, they would be located here, and then their cars or trucks would be parked here, and then the guest parking or the patrons would park in this area here. Let's see. Now, they are requesting to operate this second market with the same dates as the first, from May 1st through the end of November, weather permitting. However, this second market would be open on Friday and Saturday rather than Saturday and Sunday, which is what the first one operates. The hours would be slightly different, but more in line with the past farmers market. They would be Friday from 12 noon until 6:30 and Saturday 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. The tent would be the same size as the one at Bartlett Commons, a 40 by 60, and there are over 547 parking spaces within the shopping center, so I think there's ample parking for this use. This market is actually located in Cook County and under the jurisdiction of our health inspector. And although their petitioner will not be preparing any food and the goods being sold are primarily produce and a permit is not needed, there still may be periodic inspections that take place on the premises. If the other vendors from our former farmers market join the petitioner, there may be some food preparation involved, and they would be subject to a health inspection as well as any food licenses that may be required. The property owners have granted permission for the petitioner to request this special use permit and to operate a produce market within their shopping center, and staff does recommend approval subject to the conditions and findings of fact outlined in your staff report.
Okay. Thanks, Roberta.
Okay.
Commission members, any questions of Roberta? Are there any questions from the public regarding petitioner's request? Any questions you may want to ask? Okay. I just have a couple that I need to ask you. Whomever. We're going to have different locations now for the farmers market. They'll still be located.
This is the only market.
Okay, all right. It's the only. So if we have additional vendors, they'll have to stay at this location. They're not going to be
With Julie's Market, yes.
correct. They won't be located anywhere else in the village.
This is it.
All right. And I would think that the property owner's intent is to sooner or later lease that space. Mm-hmm. Okay. That being the case, can there potentially be a parking problem?
No, there's plenty of spaces at this point.
That's what I thought.
Even if that is filled, there's still plenty of spaces.
Right. Okay. So that's been covered. That's
Yes.
been discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I don't have any more questions.
I have a question for Julie. How many vendors are you going to have under your tent right now? Do you have any that have signed up for that?
Not at this time, not yet.
No. How many
We're
do you
still in the
expect?
process of getting in touch with some of the vendors from the village, and just waiting as we got through this process a
can't
little.
hear. Can you speak
Just waiting until we got through this process a little further. But yeah, we'll be talking with the past vendors at the other market that you had last year.
How many spaces would you be able to fit in that, at this point? Other vendors?
It's pretty big. They could fit quite a few, maybe 10,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you still going to operate the one in South Barrington as well?
I'm not sure.
That's all I had.
Anyone else? If not, then looking for a motion to approve the petitioner's request along with the recommendations of staff and the findings of fact. Do we have such motion?
I make a motion that we approve their request with
You got to turn it on. I don't think it's on.
All I need is a yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? If not, may we have the roll, please?
John Miasso.
yes.
Diane Nagel. Yes. Steve Kane.
Yes.
Jim Lemberg.
Yes.
Austin Hopkins.
Yes.
Shane Cook.
Yes.
Tom Coons.
Yes.
Tim Ridenhour.
Yes.
Okay, great. Good luck to you. With that, we'll close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is case number 13-17. It's the BP Gas Subway Dunkin' Donuts. It's a site plan amendment. And Roberta, I think this is not a public hearing.
No.
Roberta, I think you're up again.
I am,
You're a busy girl tonight.
and I know this is complicated.
Right.
I'm going to try to simplify it. The petitioner is requesting what we're calling a second site plan amendment to an existing automobile service station. They would like to add on an addition and to build a previously approved drive-through. The addition would allow for a Subway restaurant and Dunkin' Donuts with an accompanying drive-through window. These restaurant uses would take the place of the former AM/PM deli, while the convenience store portion of the building would remain unchanged. So this property actually has a lot of history to it, so I'm going to try to go through. You have a lot of plans in your packet, and I'm just going to briefly talk about each one, and then we'll go through the most recent plan, which you got tonight on the dais, which I might as well say, let's enter that as, is there Exhibit A and B? Do we do that if it's not a public hearing, or?
You should still enter it as
Okay,
the exhibit.
it's two, A and B. Yeah, it's floor plan, you have both. Okay. The first plan, this was the approved plan from 1996. This is when it was built. It allowed for the building and the gas pumps, which are here. I know this is hard to see. The gas pumps, the building, and you'll see this drive-through here. Comes around the building and down here. The drive-through window is actually here. This was the original plan in 1996. The building was built, as you know, and the gas pumps. However, the drive-through was never completed. It was never built, I should say. Okay, that's the first plan, 96. Then in 2001, we had our first, what we're calling the first amendment to the site plan. And this one approved the addition of a detached drive-through car wash. Is this right? No. No, I got to go back. Wrong one. There we go.
Next one.
Yeah, this one. All right, so here's the car wash. Here's the building again, nothing changed there. No drive-through, as you can see. They never built it. Coming around, same kind of traffic pattern, but here's the car wash. Detached, and here's the exit. And they reduced the detention area. This is the detention area here, and you can see they cut into that a little bit. The car wash was never constructed. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Bye-bye car wash.
This is the request when it first came to the staff, and we're calling this the proposed Second Amendment plan. And they want to build an addition. And here's the location of the addition. The back of the building. And the addition is what is causing the site plan amendment. The special use granted back in 1996 for the drive-through was already approved. So they would like to just construct the drive-through. And here it comes, coming around just like before, coming in here, and the drive-through window is here, and there's an island here blocking it, and the traffic would come out this way. Okay, that's the amendment. Let's see here, how do I do this?
Now, at this point right now, drawing, Roberta, this was approved.
No, this is their proposed, that's why it says proposed.
Okay.
This is what they submitted to staff, this is what we reviewed, and this is what we took to the Village Board Committee. The Village Board Committee reviewed this, and they had some concerns. And they had an issue with the location of the drive-through window down here, which would cause all the vehicles to exit here when cars were coming in and out at this location, and they were afraid cars were going to try to turn right and come out and cause a conflict. So the architect drew up what is we're calling the architect's alternative plan. And he said that he would draw, as he did, what we're calling, this square is the only change to the plan from the one you just saw. They deleted a parking space here and made a curb that turns left, forcing everyone to exit this way. This was cut back, this was the new curve this way, and a parking stall was taken out. Hoping that and there would be signage placed there that would say, keep left, turn left, no right turn, something to direct traffic. Between the time that this plan was prepared in the Village Board Committee meeting and this meeting tonight, the architect, and he can probably explain it a little bit better than I can, discussed with Dunkin' Donuts the concerns that the Village Board Committee had, and maybe, they could change the location of the drive-up window. The reason the drive-up window was here in the first place is because the location of the Dunkin' Donuts in the interior of the building on the floor plan was here, and Subway was over here. What you have before you on the dais, as I'm going to call it Exhibit A, is the latest site plan that you just got tonight. We've reviewed it. Let's see. Why am I going back? And here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They took the concerns from the board, deleted this drive-up window here. Dunkin' Donuts now moved back over in this area. The drive-through curb is gone, and so now it's just the window is back here, and the drive-through exit is back here. Okay? So, I should show you. Is this the revised floor plan?
Yes.
Okay. No? Next one? Yeah, here we go. So the convenience portion stays the same. The addition, because they eliminated that drive-through, actually got a tiny bit bigger. It is now 1,080 square feet instead of the original 815, so it did get a little bit bigger. Let's see. And the building went from, its existing square footage is 2,940, and it's gone up to 4,020 with the addition. The west and south let's see, the new addition would match architecturally the existing facade and the roof line of the current building. And the overall height of the building would not change, with the existing tower reaching the highest point of 24 feet. The only change in the interior from the other one, besides the expansion of the floor area, was the first plan had 22 seats on the interior, and now it only has 20. The combined uses each have peak hours that differ from one another, that allow these uses to be compatible on one site. Peak hours for the convenience store / gas station are typically during the evening commute. Subway's peak hours are currently during the lunch hour, and Dunkin' Donuts' peak hours are typically in the morning. Circulation on the site, let me go back, is generally a two-way traffic pattern, with the exception of the area north of the building and west where it's the drive-through. So this is the point where it becomes a one-way. As you can see, the angled parking is here, one-way traffic pattern coming out here. So there would be a do not enter sign down here.
Oh, it looks like they changed this.
Parking originally their parking it was located on this end has now shifted all along this curb line up here. Let's see, the original plan that they submitted to us for us to look at showed had a requirement of 16 parking spaces. Because the addition was enlarged just slightly, it went up to 17 parking spaces, but they've provided 22, so they meet the zoning ordinance requirement. And let's see, as you can see, the Stearns Road, County Farm, ingress, egress points, no changes to those, no changes to the pump islands. Actually, landscaping will be improved along here. Some older dying shrubs will be removed, some crab apples, and I've got a picture of the landscaping. I think it's going to look really nice. So engineering plans are currently being reviewed by the staff. The landscape and photometric plans have already been approved, and we do recommend approval of this latest plan that you're seeing tonight. I'm going to call it Exhibit A. Subject to the conditions and findings of fact outlined in your report. However, I would, because of this latest plan, like to request that we eliminate letter C, the signage that would direct the cars to keep left. I don't believe we need that anymore.
Where's this?
So 1C.
I don't think we need item 2 either. Are we the only ones that have seen this?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, the building elevations, I'd like to keep that on there. The building elevations I'd like to keep. I think the date might change. I might have to update the date that's in here, but I'd like to keep the building elevations as a condition. So letter B.
This is the best, personally. Okay, this is the best plan I've seen. I don't know who worked on this, staff and yourself, but this is very doable. This, in my opinion, you're to be commended. This is outstanding. And I don't have a problem with the building being a little larger. You know, I thought that the drawing that we had, the site plan that we had looked at, the one that preceded this one, I'm trying to get on it.
One in the packet.
The proposed
2014.
proposed second amendment?
I'll get the date here in a second. Bear with me. Oh, the architect's alternative.
Oh, the architect's alternative, yes.
I didn't care for that at all. I thought that was just something that we put in there just to make do to appease people. But when I walked in and I saw this laying here this evening and you went through it, I thought this site plan that I'm looking at right now, the latest revision, is far superior to anything I've seen before. So That's what I think.
The petitioners are here. The petitioners are here.
Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead, please.
It's my understanding then that the Subway sandwich shop, people are going to walk in and make their order and either eat there or take it to go, correct? And the Dunkin' Donuts portion is the same way, except they're offered the drive-through option, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on the one plan, the revised...
I'm sorry, you need to introduce yourself. Give us your name, please, for the record.
Yeah, my name's Eric Carl.
For this, huh?
I am, and a little bit of a history on that is we did a building like this, similar BP gas station that had an AM PM, and after getting the plans done and permitted, the Dunkin' Donuts said, well, we didn't approve that. We need that front left corner, otherwise we're not going to go. So we kind of had that same premise here, which is why that first plan was even introduced, is they wanted that front corner with the south drive-through that they get the visibility from Stearns Road. And after I explained to them the concerns that the council members had, we're able to work them into a better plan.
Yeah. But the one we looked at prior to this latest edition, your architect's alternative, honestly, it just looks like somebody threw something together there to appease people.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. It took a lot of thought, and it's very workable.
Yeah.
And I think that's an outstanding plan.
Thank you.
I didn't care for the architect's alternative site plan at all.
Yeah, that was a result of
You know what that reminded me of? Honestly, I'm going to be frank. A couple guys sitting in the bar talking about how to change it, and they drew it out on a napkin.
Cocktail napkin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
That was our discussion at the committee of the whole meeting in terms of one possible way to do it. So that was, while we were working on the other part, that was the only direction. Unfortunately, we couldn't get this to you in advance because I didn't get that formal approval until last week.
Now, watch
But, yeah.
the other commissioners have some objection with this.
Well, yeah, right. Then we might go back to architect's alternative.
Architect's alternative.
I had another question about signage. Is there a proposed signage plan on this to, highlight the Subway, the Dunkin' Donuts?
Signage is approved separately through different permits. We don't have any of the signage on any of the elevations at this time.
On this one at this time? Okay. All right. That's
But
all.
to answer that, we'd have a
Right.
Dunkin' and the Subway.
Well,
and
to
then
let
that.
the general public know
Right.
what's what. And what's this on the plan that says FACP? What is that with the door leading to the outside?
One of the requirements that Bartlett has adopted is any expansion to the building. If it does not have a fire sprinkler system, then you have to add one. So
I see.
our addition
So that's the room for
required
the sprinkler,
yeah.
mechanical. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question. That's a pass-through, or that's a two-way on the south side of the building, and I noticed that when the drive-through then can exit directly then, if they just go straight, and there's also a pass-through lane right there, right?
Correct.
Is there going to be a stop line or a stop sign there before they go and hit that two-way?
We don't have one shown, but that's a good idea. We should.
Yeah, could I
Yeah.
would put that in the recommendation.
What do you want then?
A stop line or a stop sign when they pull out of that drive-through or when they go through that pass-through lane before they enter the two-way
So we're talking about the south
west side.
be the south
We could-
east or southwest side.
Add a stop sign at the exit of the drive-through.
All right.
Southwest side.
There's not
I
a
just
lot
have
of space for that, just looking at that. There's not a lot of space before you pick up the food at that drive-through window, and where that stop sign would go is right at that corner, right before the curve. Typically, you wouldn't put it on the curve.
Or,
Yeah,
but
maybe-
the pass-through, those people are coming through. They're
Pass-through, yeah, you're right.
You know.
Well, that's a dead end going to the west. There's nothing there adjacent to it. That was
Is
put
that
in there.
dead?
Yeah, that was
At
put in
this
for
point,
future
there's not.
expansion. At this point, there's nothing to the west of that. That's just vacant. Usually, trucks go there and park when they have to unload.
Yeah, isn't that
It
probably
it
won't.
literally steps out.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't,
But
grass.
someday it will be developed, and
Yeah.
Right.
it will be two-way, so.
All right.
I just have a concern, again, about with the south side area. I go to this gas station all the time, and the problem that I see now is that when you go to pull out after filling up with gas, I usually turn right, but there's a lot of people that will turn left onto Stearns. My concern is that with the increase with the drive-through and everything, is that stacking, either coming from the gas station or coming from the drive-through, is going to back up there and prevent people from exiting the drive-through, and prevent people from being able to turn left onto Stearns. And I mean this is an issue now. I mean, especially more in the evening, and I know the peak hours for the drive-through are going to be more in the morning. But I still imagine that there could be an issue. I'm not sure what can be done, but I know there's an issue with it now, and this is before everything.
Is that in the evening, or?
Yeah, I see that more in the evening.
Okay, well, I think the drive-through is going to be, like we mentioned, the peak hour is the breakfast hour in the
Right.
morning. So I think,
Do
yes,
we have a traffic study that can kind of confirm the busyness of Stearns and County Farm? Was there one done?
No. I don't have one.
We did I hadn't submitted, but we did an informal, not a formal traffic study. Gawalt Hamilton is familiar with this intersection. I got it more when we were looking at the other one before we had this one. We were trying to look at the different traffic counts and the ins and outs there. And with the peak hours, it was peak at 7:30 to 8:30 was the peak time. With the cars coming in, it wasn't so much about the exiting, it was the cars coming in that seemed to, my hope was that it would defend our drive-through exiting, and it didn't. Not that it was a huge problem, but it didn't help us out. So that because of the amount of cars coming in and the potential uptick in traffic generation at that peak time, if somebody did try to loop around there, then it could have been problematic. So that was part of my arm to go back to Dunkin and say, listen, I can't even prove it that way. But it was definitely the traffic coming in.
Coming in here?
And that's my other concern, is that a lot of times when you're coming off of County Farm, turning left, and then there's so many people that will be turning right into there, and then again, you have a backup, and I see so many people slamming on their brakes because they don't know that the person in front of them is stopping because it's such a short area. And I don't know, can this entrance be moved down more? Can there be a turn lane put in? I mean, because it is literally, I've seen it every time I'm coming home from work. I see somebody slamming on their brakes.
On County Farm coming in to the right.
You're turning west onto Stearns.
Okay.
From County Farm.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. And again, if we're going to be increasing traffic flow into this, I can't imagine it's going to get any better.
Yeah.
It's my understanding, County Farm is under county jurisdiction, and it's my understanding the future improvements to that will include a full median, a barrier, so that, only the traffic coming southbound would be able to enter this site. So,
yeah, I think Austin's referring, and I had the same thing. I drive by this quite frequently in the morning and in the evening. It seems to be an issue off of that Stearns entrance there. One, it's very narrow. When you're making a right-hand turn in there, you essentially have to do a 180 to get into the lot. So, this latest revision, actually like it because it takes that third lane out of the mix here. But if there hasn't been any discussion about widening this entrance, is there a possibility to have that? Because I think if you were to widen that and create a left-hand turn lane for those that want to get back on the Stearns going left, allow for free movement to the right, you can prevent a lot of stacking in that space. and provide a little bit more room for people coming in to the right or making that right-hand turn off of Stearns.
Yeah, you can see it's much narrower here than it is in the county farm curb cut.
Like line it up with that, the drive-through more?
I don't know if that's a smart move either. But
I would think you'd want to go further west with it,
right.
To provide as much opportunity for...
Yeah, cut it to the left.
You can make that recommendation, but any alternative design has to be permitted by the county highway department.
Right.
On Stearns?
And there's taper,
Yes.
there's a turn lane there on Stearns and a taper, and they would probably have to review that and permit it. But I think the curb cut width, maybe, that could be, you could propose that and let them look at
You can propose
that.
that with increase, but they still need to go back to the county to get it approved. So it would have to be in the context of subject to county highway authority approval.
To me, that's an important thing because, even right now, like Shane says, when you make that turn, it is almost like a 180 turn, and people take it so wide that the people that are trying to exit, I know I've almost been into an
Maybe
accident.
this curb could be cut back here, too?
Yeah, that'd
the
probably-
radius on that?
It would help.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what you're saying right here.
How different
Mm-hmm.
is
What do you think? Is it a possibility?
To
cut that back a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a light pole there, but we could move that. But yeah, I think we could soften that.
I don't think we're going to make it wider.
Use your...
If you're going to be making all this turn.
Okay. So how do we make that recommendation?
I'll do it for you.
Okay.
I've got it all here.
You would have to add that as a condition.
Yes.
And I would recommend adding that, because it does have, even though they're doing an alternate design, and it's, some of that's their property, it's still a county right-of-way, so they'd have to go back to the county. So I'd add that caveat subject to the county's approval. Because the county may say, we're not going to allow you to do it. Just so you, know that's...
Just for conversation's sake, why would, if we've demonstrated that it would be a prerequisite for safety, why would they deny something like that? What would be the rationale?
They're highway engineers, and they would calculate the radius and come up with an idea. I'm not saying they would, but it's still subject to their approval.
And they might not want to restripe Stearns Road either.
Yeah.
That's all. The prime example of that is the Walgreens with the IDOT jurisdiction, and they made us take out the tape or the decel into the site, and that was a safety issue, and they said no.
Just
Well, we
putting
have
it
to
out
ask
there that it's
to get an
possible.
answer.
All you can do is
first.
ask.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
we have no problem.
Okay, well, I think we're going to, are there any questions or comments, guys? Anyone else? All right. We're going to move forward and try and make a motion here. Jim, tell me out here if we need a little help. We're looking for a motion to approve the petitioner's request, which at this point in time, I have no idea what it is anymore. And that would be for the...
It's called the second site plan amendment.
Right. Would be for the...
Second eight.
hang on, it would be for the latest revised site plan. Okay.
It's the revised second site plan amendment,
No,
right?
the latest revised.
Latest
called latest.
revised
Along
site
with the recommendations of staff and the findings of fact, and what we will add is a stop sign at the exit of the drive-through. And what we're also going to add is addressing the needs of the curb cut at the south section of the property, subject to county and highway approval. City and county approval.
To do what, widen it? Or
Yeah, to widen it, right.
we have a motion to widen it? To what-
Roberta also suggested eliminating that item C.
Remember, and delete
Oh, yes,
C.
and eliminate item C. I had that written here and I didn't read it. Right. So I think that takes care of the concerns for the curb cut, takes care of the concerns for the stop sign. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay. Looking for a motion. Do we have such a motion? Oh,
Widening it from 28 feet to what?
I'm going to let them make that decision. The county, we're just saying that that needs to be addressed,
I see.
okay?
Okay.
No, I don't want to put any specific measurements in that, right? Not at all.
Can we recommend from the west?
Another lane.
Correct.
Okay.
Another lane.
Understand perfectly.
Okay.
Right.
That's enough.
We have a motion. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any additional discussion regarding this matter? If not,
You
I'm
want
sorry?
28 feet widened? I still don't see the reason for it.
All we're saying is that consideration should be taken to take a look. We're asking them to revisit that curb cut. That's all we're asking for. That they take a look at that curb cut.
I don't think there's a need for it.
I don't know if 28 feet's wide enough or not. You're going to tell me 28
The other side of the building's only got 24 feet.
Okay, that's part of the discussion.
No, that's
so-
not an entrance there. That's not a, that's,
That's only a right
To the
in.
building, where you're turning from the front of the building to go around, there's only 24 feet because of parked cars. And if there's a car stacked over there on that side of the building, you got less than 24 feet.
Jim, I don't think there's anything wrong with
If you-
asking
No,
them
he's
just to revisit that and review what's...
Just
what's
according to
been-
rules of order, if you've
You're
got a
making them
motion and a
spin their wheels
second, then
for
go
no
into
reason.
discussion.
Okay.
Okay?
I think we're in discussion, aren't we?
So it's clear? Okay, sorry.
What are you saying? I don't know.
Yeah, but we're talking for the,
Anybody else? May we have the roll, please?
Shane Cook,
Yes.
Steve Kane,
Yes.
Boston Hopkins,
yes.
John Miasso,
Yes.
Jim Lemberg,
Vote no. Vote no.
Yep.
Tom Kunz,
I think that's right.
Yes.
Diane Nagel,
Yes.
This one's 48.
Tim Ridenhour,
This one's 20 some odd feet.
And this is 24 feet right there.
Yeah, but that's in the drive-through.
Motion
It's not
approved.
full of traffic.
40 miles.
See what you started?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're having a private discussion here. Are we interrupting anyone?
No.
Okay. All right. So the motion to pass?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good luck, gentlemen. And with that, we'll move on. Jim and I are having a conversation, and we have no idea what's happening. I have no idea what's happening. All right. Okay, next item on our agenda is old business and new business. Do we have anything?
I don't think there's any old business. Everything that you've seen so far has been approved so far. And the subdivision that you saw last is moving forward, so there's nothing really old business. New business, there's a couple of concept plans that are going to be submitted. I don't know if they'll turn into development proposals, but right now, there's nothing on the dais for next month, so, unless something, and I don't think anything's going to come in. Oh, okay, there might be one thing. There is a, I forgot that, Roberta reminded me, there's a special use for a pizza restaurant that's going in the town center, so you might see that for outdoor seating and special use for, I think, beer and wine. Is that right? It's beer and wine. Just-
The town center right across the street.
Yeah, and the old cleaner spot, so we got that in. So you might see that next month. Where the cleaners used to be there, and it's a pizza place called Marco's, and it's a franchise. Nice gentleman owns it. He wants to put outdoor seating, so we're excited about it.
The outside seating.
We originally, one time we had outdoor seating for that deli. It'd be on the sidewalk in front of it, yeah.
I read something in the Examiner about senior facility by Living Lord in Apple Valley.
Yes, that's one of the concept plans I alluded to. Roberta's reviewed that. We took it as a concept to the board. Excuse me. We're hoping he will submit a formal site plan amendment, or PUD amendment, but I don't think that won't be ready for next month.
For like May, June, July, perhaps?
Well, it depends on when he submits, but
Right.
we'd get it to you as soon as possible.
Okay.
I have one thing. Steve had some good results from his last test. Would you like to share that with us?
Yes, I had a PET scan yesterday, and they found that there's no cancer left in my body.
Oh, very
So-
nice, very nice.
Good results.
Congratulations, buddy. That's great. Does anyone else have anything? Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?